Hello, and welcome. Whether it is morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are, I'm so glad that you are here with us tonight. My name is Pania, and I will be your host tonight again, alongside with my amazing business partners. Just a little bit about me: I'm a proud mom of two, a wife, and I work full time in the medical field. Almost 3 years ago, I took a leap and started this online business. Why? Because I wanted more out of life, more time with my kids, and the freedom to travel and the ability to live on my own terms. This business has given me just that and so much more. We got a special guest tonight joining our digital business talk, and her name is Cynthia. So before we start with our topic tonight, we're going to go around, introduce ourselves. So, Cynthia, we can start with you.
Hi everyone, my name is Cynthia. I am a wife and a mom of five, and I'm a digital business owner of 5 years now. I'm also a stay at home mom, so I've been doing this during some very interesting times with my kids, my husband, and everything. And we're going to talk about that in a little bit. So let's go, Sis Tina.
Okay, hello everyone. My name is Tina. I am a teacher. I've been a teacher for over 20 years. I am a mom and a wife, and I am also a digital business owner, and I'm coming up on a 2 years anniversary. So I'm really excited to be here with all of you ladies. Okay, go ahead, Marissa.
Hello, everyone. It's Marissa here. I am also a digital business owner, like the rest of the beautiful ladies here. Professionally, I also work as a medical billing specialist for the past 7 years. I should be reaching my 8 year this July, so I'm pretty excited about that as well. But I'm also excited to be part of this community and to partner up with these beautiful ladies here to collab with tonight's live and talk about this topic tonight. All right, go ahead and say it.
Hello everyone. Annyeonghaseyo. I'm Say. I'm super excited to be here on this panel with these amazing business owners here. And for those of you who don't know who I am a business coach and a business mentor, and I'm running my business online full time, and I love it. And I'm also a mom and a wife, and I am streaming live to you guys from Arizona. So I'm super excited to be here. Back to you, Pina.
Thank you. Thank you. So, before we dive into our topic, whether if you're running after toddlers, juggling meetings, or managing a side hustle between bedtime stories and after school sport practices, you are not alone. Today, we're diving into something that hits home for so many of us, and that is how to overcome challenges and actually achieve your goals as a working parent, with an online business. So let's be honest, balancing work, kids, and even a growing business can feel like, like we're trying to juggle flame swords on a tightrope blindfolded, right? But chaos. And so, in this discussion, we're going to share some of our powerful habits that are simple, realistic, and actually work for us. And even if you're short on time, energy, or support, these habits are designed to help you to regain the control, stay focused, and build momentum. Without sacrificing your family or burning out. So yeah, let's get ready to inspire. Take notes if you like. For those who are watching out there, and most importantly, realize, you're capable of so much more than you ever think. So, with our guest tonight, Cynthia, if you like, you can share first. Uh oh, Cynthia, I think you are on
I
mute.
think you're on mute.
Uh oh.
You're still on mute. There you go.
I pressed it. I guess I pressed it again. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I didn't want to make noise if she was moving in the back. My daughter's in the back. Um, like I said, I'm gonna be 5 years coming up in June, and it is a little bit of a getting into the rhythm of being a business owner and having a family. When I started, my daughter was actually 2 years old. So she was a little handful. And when I started, I had to make sure that everything was quiet so I can concentrate. And usually that would be in the mornings when everyone was at school, husband was at work, and she was still asleep. And then it was during the day, doing chores, having dinner ready, having lunch ready for when the kids came home. Everything had to be, I couldn't have it interfering with my life, with my family, because that's what I wanted. I wanted to have a business where it wouldn't interrupt the bonding I had with them, the time that I had with them. So my training actually started like that. I did it in the mornings, and then at night I would finish all of my chores. I would finish cleaning everything, leaving the house for the next day. And as soon as they would fall asleep, it was that me time, sort of say, and then finish my training there. And now after these 5 years, I've gone through more how to prioritize a little bit more how the business is, and I have to make it around my life, make it around my family, not the other way around. I got to see that when I had a chance and it wasn't interfering with my family, I will be able to sit down 10-15 minutes and check on my phone, see if I had any inquiries, if I had any of my business partners that asked questions. That's when I would do it. And it's becoming now like not much of a habit of always being on my phone and always being on it and being, without the distraction of okay, I had to do something with the family, but I'm not doing it because I'm on my phone. No, you have to have that particularly already scheduled. So, family is first, that your business is very important, but find the time that you're going to give your 100% attention to it. And that's the way it's going to work for you. Because either if you don't treat it as a business and as a side hustle, you're never going to go far. This is a real business. This is real for you. This is your life, your future. And as long as you give it that attention, even if it's 30 minutes, the business works for you.
Yes, I totally agree with that. And so I wanted to add with what Cynthia was talking about, how, prioritizing, family time, business time, and even like maybe your, chores and all that stuff that you're doing in the home while taking care of your family. I have about like 2 tips where I want to share where, you can do time blocking, right? And so a lot of the people, they like to use this digital planning method where they can do it on their phone with using the calendar, or maybe they have like an app that they use. I'm still old fashioned, and so I always share on my business page about my weekly planner. And so this is a game changer for me.
I'm actually using it as a book thing.
Yeah. And if you want to use a paper planner or you have a weekly planner, like, go for it, because I want to like handwrite everything down so I can see it for myself. Because sometimes if I don't want to be on my phone, then I have the paper right in front of me on my desk. And so, yeah, weekly planning on Sundays, just dedicate like 30 minutes to 60 minutes of your time each Sunday just to plan out your week for both personal, family, and your business. So that way you won't miss any of your time and you won't feel guilty, So, yeah. Who would like to go next?
I can share. Happy early anniversary, Cynthia. super excited to have you here with us, and what an amazing, inspiring story that you just told there. And a lot of us, I think, go through that. And I think that for a lot of us, the toughest part isn't, I think you can say, isn't knowing what to do, right? Because we do know what to do, but it's doing it consistently that's hard. And right when you think you are going to be you're consistent, you fall off, right? But like, we all have big dreams, we have big goals, but the hardest part is our old habits. Habits are hard to die, right? Die hard, and they want us to stay in comfort. They want to keep us comfortable, right, in comfort zone. And there's always that whisper in the back of our head that says, just stay where it's familiar, right? It's more comfortable here. It's scary out there. And then you listen to that, right? But for me, starting this business was the best thing that I did for myself. And it was also my turning point, because I knew I had to show up differently if I wanted a different life and if I wanted different results. So it really starts within. I love this topic because you really do have to form new habits in order to reach and achieve success. And I really did have to reform and build new habits. And I promise you that it is not going to be easy, okay? And you really have to. So I started with forming new habits, and then the biggest part was protecting my mindset, right? Your mindset is the most powerful thing. It could make you or break you. So you have to build a negativity-proof mindset. Like you guys already touched on, carving out time for personal growth and for the business. I, like you, Cynthia, I did the opposite. I did it in the middle of the night. So everything happened during the day, and then I did it at night. And so it was only carving out a couple hours at night to work on the business, right? And then really being intentional with that schedule, like how Pania and you already mentioned. Even when life felt hectic, right? Life is going to throw curveballs at you. When you start working on yourself, working on your dreams, and start telling the universe and God that you're going to make it and you're going to do whatever it takes. And those roadblocks, those bumps are going to happen. And it's going to test you over and over again. So you need to really start with that mindset and really dedicate and commit. The most important word is commit, and stay consistent, because if you don't commit, you're not going to be able to stay on track, and you're not going to be able to stay consistent. And one small habit that I started, okay, I am working on it again, was waking up at least 30 minutes earlier just for me time. No phone. I used to pick up my phone every time I woke up. First thing, picked up the phone and walked away from my bed with the phone. But I was intentional and committed to waking up 30 minutes earlier just for me. No phone, no touching my phone, no messages, just time for me to breathe, to reflect, and to kind of like fuel my mind before the day starts. Because when you pick up your phone, like they say, like those radioactive waves or whatever, I don't know if it is, it might be true, it really does. And those flashes and the lights, it sets the tone for every decision you make. Like this one motivational speaker that I listen to a lot, and he said that the first 10 decisions that you make in the morning, or the first 10 decisions you make in that day, is what's going to set the tone. Because after the 10, it's not even reasonable anymore. It doesn't even matter much anymore, because those most important 10 before, because you're going to hit your limit of your decisions. And so that 30 minutes really helped me start my day. And that one habit really changed everything, because it gave me clarity. It also gave me direction, and the creativity just flowed in, because my mental space that helped me keep showing up for my goals was cleared, so that my creativity can flow in. And especially when challenges came up, it really helped me step back instead of reacting. And so I was able to step back and then figure out, like, why did this happen? How do I overcome this? And I've learned through this that we don't okay. I've learned through this journey, okay? It was you have to reflect, and I reflect a lot, and I learned that we don't rise to the level of our goals, but we actually fall. We fall to the level of our habits, because when you have good habits and you are consistent on your habits, you fall to the level, and however high your frequency of that level of habit is, that's where you are. That's where you're going to achieve your goals. And so if we want to elevate our life, we have to start by elevating those small little daily actions, and just starting with one, right? You and I promise you start with more than one, you're guaranteed to fail. You're guaranteed to fail, and you're guaranteed to be overwhelmed and exhausted, and you're not going to want to change, and you're going to forget about your why, because you're going to be like, it's not for me, it's just too much, life is happening, there's just too much going on, right? Like mom life, wife life, friend life, business life, work life, friend, sister, daughter, whatever, right? But honestly, I just want to remind you all, and you watching that or listening, that you don't have to change everything overnight. You just have to start with one habit, and even just one shift, one commitment, and then stack it all at the end, and it becomes a momentum, and it becomes consistent. And that's how I kind of started, because I did it. I tried to do everything. I tried to put everything together and stack it. And this business journey taught me that it's not about being perfect, because I was a perfectionist. Everything had to look good. What if people think this, people think that? What if it doesn't look good? It only doesn't look good to me because I wanted to be perfect. And it's not about being perfect. You building these habits to form new habits to overcome the challenges and achieve your goals. It doesn't have to be perfect. You're going to fall off, but it's about being persistent and consistent and forming those habits to support the life that you want, not the one that you're trying to leave behind. Because when you stay and try to form habits to leave the one behind, you're going to stay stuck there. So form habits to support the life that you want and keep moving forward, because challenges are going to come, and there's not going to be a day where there aren't challenges. Because if your goals feel far away, to be quite honest, just take a deep breath, take a step back, and look at your habits. Because if you keep falling back, ask yourself, are my habits serving me, or are they stopping me to achieving my goals? Because if you don't pause to stop and look, you will miss out on all of those little hints that are holding you back, or if they're serving you at all. So I can talk about this all day. But I would love to hear from what you guys have done too, because everybody goes through it differently.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
Well,
Oh, Tina, you want to go ahead
go
and
ahead. Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead, Marissa. You beat me to it.
I just want to go ahead and add on, because and say you actually touch on a lot of amazing points there, and you highlighted a lot of great information there. Definitely, I do agree that habits comes from within yourself when it comes to self evaluations and reforming yourself to understanding the habits that you have, understanding why you want to change, or like finding like a purpose, right, for yourself. It's very important to ask yourself that and really understand the habits that you have that leads to your success. So I really do agree on that part. And I really love how you talk a little bit about stacking, because that was something that I did kind of want to mention, like a little tidbit there, that, habits is not something that it is, you could change overnight. And definitely the old habits does die hard. So if you have a certain habit that that they do make your daily routine, I guess you can say, consistent or productive throughout the day, what you can also go ahead and add is, like, if you have like a new habit that you want to go ahead and add to that daily routine, you can just stack that habit on, and kind of like when Tay kind of mentioned, like early in the morning, maybe do like some morning meditations, and then start out with your daily routine. And then every day, if you keep consistent with that kind of routine, you slowly form that habit of every morning I wake up, I do meditation, and then I go on my day. And then you have a better day, you have a better mindset. And so I really just want to go ahead and add that. And I just love that, you previously, you ladies, you already touched on a lot of base of, actually, habits also kind of like, comes with a little bit of mindset as well, I guess you can say. So I just love that you guys highlighted a lot of great points. All right, Tina, go ahead and go.
Um, Thank you for sharing that, because I know when you're talking about that, I was also in my mind thinking about Atomic Habits. And that book was like, wow, I wish I knew these tips when I was just starting as a mom. I'm like, oh my goodness. Like, and I mean, I'm still, implementing ideas and strategies from there. And I think one thing that works for me, because I notice for me, kind of like how Coach Say mentioned, where it's like, I want to be this new person, right? And you want to change like 10 things at once, and you end up doing nothing because it's overwhelming. So what I have done that works for me is, okay, I'm going to focus on one thing. I'm going to wake up early, or I'm going to work out. And I tend to get stuck on and overwhelmed with like, I have to hit these numbers, you have to work out, this many times a week. And then it becomes overwhelming in that sense, like, oh my gosh, I haven't met that goal yet. So what I have done is like, okay, I'm just going to focus on today. I'm going to fit it in today. And, because I've already planned my day the night before. So I'm going to work on, hitting these 3 top tasks today. And then by the end of the week, it's like, oh, I've worked out, more than I expected. Or if I didn't do it that day, I've made it up. But really just, and then like the next week or the week after, just adding in a new habit so that it's not overwhelming. You're really, really putting it into your schedule and implementing it. Because I know, a little side note, I had seen like Korean facial skincare sets, right? And I look at that and I'm like, oh my God, that's like 15 steps. I'm like, I'm never going to do that. But, one of the things is kind of like, okay, I'm going to start with this, I'm going to add that in the next week. I'm going to do this one. And then by the time you're like, oh, okay, it's not that bad. Like 15 steps, it becomes like you're just doing it on automatic. And I think that's how it is also with the digital business, right? At first it seems overwhelming because all this information is coming at you. And the thing is, you can only do so much, especially when you're new. And so you're like, oh, okay, I got that. This is easier. I get it. And so you add another thing. So I think also I want to just say too is for me, I feel like, okay, I've got these habits. And so sometimes it's also, for whatever reason, sometimes it's just like, it's like you have to constantly tweak it. You have to improve it and reflect on it and say, okay, what's working, what's not working? Because I noticed for me, it's like, oh, all these things are working. And then all of a sudden one starts to fall off, the other starts to fall off. And so for me, it's a constant check-in of meeting those successes or goals and making sure that they are long-term habits. So yeah, there's a lot to that. I think for everyone, just as far as like habits, right? Because I think once we get so good at something, we're like, oh, we tend not to do it. Or it's okay if I skip, one day. Same thing with the workouts, right? So, oh, it's okay. I'll just skip another day. And so, yeah, I think it's just really important to always do a self check-in and, see what is going well and what's not, so we can continue improving.
I was listening to you with that, taking one day. Oh, it's okay. Another day is not that bad, and then that becomes a habit too.
Yes.
So you just don't do it anymore.
Yes.
I actually got some good ideas for starting all over the new month that's coming up in May. I'm gonna start doing that, Coach Tay. I'm gonna start doing 30 minutes of just me time. I think that'll actually help me too. Lately, these mornings are just so overwhelming with the kids rushing and everything, and I usually just wake up and be like, get up, we're late." I have four kids that I have to wake up to go to school. I have two in college, one in high school, and then I have a kindergartner. So it's like one after another, and it's like, hurry up, hurry up. But I think if I were to start 30 minutes before and actually just, think positive, have that time for myself, I think that will be a lot different, and I'll be able to wake them up a little bit gentler. With the yes, she's saying that she'll love that too.
Yeah, the kids involved.
Yes.
Kids, let's all do meditation right now. Wake up extra early.
No, not my kids. It will be something to get them like once in a while, maybe, and then get them into the habit of it.
You'll be amazed at how smoother your day goes by just setting one different intention that day, by getting up early so that you have time to clear your mind, and then you're not rushing, right? Mm-hmm. So try it and let me know. Let us know actually on how that goes.
So funny. And
I'm putting it on the calendar on my
yeah.
starting May 1st.
Yes.
That's a good tip. Yeah, like even when we form new habits and then, whatever works and what not work, it's okay to, let it go and then do something new, because it always changes on a daily basis, and so don't put pressure on yourself like, God, I'm not getting it, or it's not going to work out for me. Give it some time, because who knows, it will work. And if it doesn't work, it's okay. Maybe try something new, So yeah. Let's see. Anything else you ladies want to add before we wrap up our live tonight?
I just want to go ahead and add that, for those that are night owl like myself, it's hard for me to wake up 30 minutes early to do a me time. But a little tip here, I do do like my night prayers. I feel like that at night, when I have that little downtime, that little me time at night, if I do like a little prayers and I settle the night with like a good mental note, I wake up a lot more refreshed. So a little tip there. But if there's those of you that, you have a busy day, busy night, and, you don't have enough sleep, but you want to wake up early and you want to find that little extra time to refresh yourself and get that little me time, it's very important to also find that little, safe space for yourself, that little breather, so that you can have like a little more smoother day for yourself as well. And I just want to thank the viewers for watching, and thank you, Cynthia, for joining us tonight.
I wanted to add on real quick with what Marissa said. I have been forming this new habit of listening to meditation at night too before I go to sleep. When both of my kids are sleeping, then I have some me time for myself. And so I'm like, you know what? I need to start this kind of like that sleep meditation for like 30 minutes, just so that way it will help calm my mind from running. Because most nights my mind is running, thinking about what I'm going to do tomorrow. Sometimes I will think about the business. It just runs so much. And I'm like, it needs to calm down. So let's do some meditation. So yeah. All right, ladies. Well, if that is it for tonight, as we close, I just wanted to take a moment to say that, to everyone out there, you're doing better than you think. So, balancing the demands of work, family, and building something of your own is no small task, okay? And the fact that you showed up tonight to learn, to grow, to connect says so much about your strength and your commitment. Even every one of us that's on this panel tonight too. So remember, success isn't about being perfect or doing it all. It's about showing up, with intention. And like Coach Tay said, one habit, one choice, one small win at a time. Every step that you take, no matter how small, is a step closer to the life, that you're building for you and your family. So keep going, lean into the habits that we talked about tonight. Give yourself permission to grow at your own pace and know that every step forward, no matter how small, is a victory. Thank you all for being here, and thank you, ladies, and even Cynthia tonight. You got this. We all got this. We're in it together. So yeah. See you all in next week. Digital Business Talk. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.